Some of football's brightest stars overcame financial poverty to shine. Born with nothing, they clawed themselves out through the love of the game. Here are 5 players who never forgot the odds they beat to get where they are. Number 1. Sadio Mane. Mane is unquestionably one of the most devastating wingers in the world. He is incisive, cutting. Liverpool win with him and are far less dynamic without him. But Mane's path to the top of the game was against the odds. He grew up in Sadio, a village in western Senegal. Sadio does not have a hospital. Most of the people there work in agriculture. But Mane had a big dream. He played football endlessly on dusty streets, playing wherever there was a game. His family was very religious and didn't want him to become a pro footballer. At 15, he traveled to Senegal's capital, Dakar, for a trial against their will. His kit was absolutely busted, and an older man evaluated the players, pointed it out. He asked me, "Are you here for the test?" I said yes. He asked me, "With those boots? Look at them. How can you play in them?" They were bad, really bad, torn and old. Then he said, "And with those shorts? You don't even have proper football shorts." But he excelled. His talent took him to France, Southampton, and Liverpool. And now he's giving back. This year, he went home to see progress on a school he is building and handed out kits to local kids. Now, the next generation of great Senegalese players will have the boots and shorts to wear to trials. Number 2. Franck Ribery. One of the greatest players in recent French history comes from a poor community in the north of France. A near-fatal car crash almost killed him at 2. Deep scars ran over his face. But he's vowed never to have plastic surgery, maintaining they are a part of him. That didn't stop him from being one of the best footballers in the world. The former Bayern Munich star almost won a Ballon d'Or. But he also labored as a construction worker to help his father make ends meet. Construction work is dangerous and low-paying. Number 3. Alexis Sanchez. Sanchez has electrified Barcelona and Arsenal fans with his speed and skills. He is now with Inter after a disastrous spell with Manchester United. At his best, he is a very difficult and speedy mark for defenders. But he says he almost ended up in the mines of his hometown in Chile. He had to take part-time jobs to sustain his family. Can you believe that a man who was signed by Arsenal for $35 million had to clean cars? He couldn't even afford football boots. His kit was donated to him by a local mayor. He told an interviewer why charity work at home was so important to him. "I built 2 football pitches because I wanted kids to have a decent pitch to play on, as I never had that." He spoke about the dangers of growing up in a small mining community with little to do. People can get involved in drugs and alcohol. He wants to help provide kids with another path. Football is one way out of poverty, but it's far from the most likely path for most. Number 4. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. We have a lot of fun with Zlatan. Few people in sports have a bigger ego or impact on the teams they join. The Swede is freakishly talented. Maybe some of that bluster comes from his very humble origins. He grew up in a tough neighborhood with a lot of issues. He was a frequent thief as a child. He learned how to pick locks and steal bikes with the best of them. Zlatan suffered from poverty and prejudice, and now he's the shining star in Los Angeles. He even built Zlatan Court back in his neighborhood. Number 5. Angel Di Maria. The Noodle has been tearing it up with PSG for a few seasons. He cycled through some of the biggest clubs in Europe, including Manchester United. He had a complicated relationship with then-manager Louis van Gaal. But then, who doesn't with Van Gaal? Oh, and did we mention people tried to rob his house? He only played 27 matches before being shipped off to Paris, where he shines. He was also amazing at Real Madrid. So good, in fact, Ronaldo was angry when he was transferred. But life before football superstardom was not easy for Di Maria. He grew up in a small Argentine town, and his family had very little. My father worked at a coal yard with my mother. It was a horrible experience. Both me and my sisters worked at the coal yard as well. I started at age 10. It was hard work. He shared a room with his sister in a house that was falling apart. Di Maria's father worked at the coal yard for 16 years, until Di Maria signed with Benfica and demanded he stop. It's a good day when you can get your dad out of the coal business. Everyone knows football is big business, with staggering amounts of money at stake. But it's impossible not to be inspired by the ascent of players who came from humble beginnings. How can you not be moved by how hard they worked to get where they are? They had talent, drive, and people who believed in them. Some have committed to giving back, never forgetting where they came from. The list of players who've overcome a lot goes on and on. Cristiano Ronaldo grew up under a zinc roof in a poor neighborhood. Luis Suarez was another player who struggled, unable to buy the trainers he wanted. Romelu Lukaku, the Belgian international who now plays with Inter, sometimes didn't have electricity at home. His mother borrowed bread she couldn't afford from a local baker. These are just a few players who gave us hope that hard work and a lot of luck is all you need. We kept the list to 5 players, but football is full of stories like these. Are you interested in learning more about players who made it despite lack of financial means? Let us know who we missed.